Right. So the question on control, right? Whether we are in control of this experience called life. And even though at some surface level, it seems like we are in charge, we do this, we do that. And we truly, nothing is really in our control, including our own thoughts. They just come. Life just happens. Everything just is happening. And even the next breath is not in our control. The next movement, whether I do this or I do this, depends on my thought. But the thoughts are not something that I create. They just come. They just happen. So there is no real control in what is happening in your life, in what is happening in the world. We are just here to enjoy this roller coaster ride called life. So, and if anything is in our control, it's how we respond to whatever is happening. What is our response to what is happening? How do we experience whatever is happening? And that experience takes us, when it is in line with our joyousness, our playfulness, our lovingness, our truthfulness, the closer it is to that, the more and more closer we are approaching our true self, our universal self, our divine self. And even if when we are not, it's not that we are not divine, we are still divine no matter what, but we experience that divinity more and more when we are in those states which we prefer, the emotions that we love, the emotions that serve us, the emotions for which we are here on this planet, the feelings that we are here on the planet. And so Sonal is asking about, what about people trying to control their partners and in relationships? What about them? People are continuously fooling themselves about controlling themselves. And the truth is that we are not really in control. So making an attempt to control your partner is, if trying to control your life and your circumstances and what happens to you is uh, is not really close to the truth, then trying to control somebody else is even further from the truth. You just we do not control anyone. We cannot control anyone, and we can live in that illusion that we are somehow controlling somebody, but ultimately there is nothing. It's just oneness, experiencing and expressing oneness in whatever shape and form. So even if somebody if somebody you think is trying to control you, ultimately it is only when you are handing that over, you pretend to play the game called control where you hand over the remote control to the other person and they say, okay, chalo, let's play control, you control me and I will pretend to be controlled. That's the relationship in which apparently control goes on. Somebody manipulates and somebody uh, goes or moves or talks or thinks or bees according to them. But ultimately, that it is handed over. It's not something that you inherently have. You handed it over temporarily to play and to pretend. And even that handing over was never in the control of that person who handed it over either. It is the thought that occurred to them to hand over control, and that thought was not their own. It just happens. So if it's foolish to think we are in control of our lives, it's even more foolish to think that we can control others' lives. That's what I'm saying. So sit back, relax, and watch the blinking lights. There used to be in the 80s in all the computer rooms this particular, like a poster with these words on them, um, kind of German sounding, but it was all in English. And basically the message was, Dum coffin, you don't know what's going on here. It was particularly in like a server room, inside a server room where all this stuff is going on. Dum coffin, das thinken, das knows what's going on, but mitten das hands in das pockets und wash the blinking lights. Just put your hands in your pocket and watch the blinking lights, which is what it is. So um, that's how it is with life. Just put your hands in your pockets and watch these blinking lights called life. Just watch it, observe it, experience it, live it. But any attempt or illusion of control, in fact, the more you release that control, the more you automatically move towards joyousness. And which is again not to say you don't do anything, but you don't assume that you are somehow in control. To go back to your example about exercising and diet and all that, I'm not suggesting that we don't exercise or we don't diet, but thinking that this diet and this exercise puts me in control of my life or my body, that's the illusion. If exercising and diet makes you feel good, by all means go for it. Live it and leave it. Right, exactly. Leave it, live it and leave it. Or the other way around, leave it and live it. First live it, then leave it, then live it. So the illusion is, so the message is not that we drop all action or any attempt to do anything or say anything. What we are saying is we drop the underlying assumption or the illusion behind that action, that thinking that somehow what I'm doing is taking charge of whatever is this universe, this world. This this um, and again, it's a very beautiful paradox, Mahesh, because uh, this restricted, constricted, shrunken I called this body mind is truly not in control. But you, the divine you, the one that is animating this whole body, the one that is animating this entire universe, the stars, the dancing of the galaxies, that you is completely in control. Completely in control. There's nothing that is happening which is not in the realm of the willful desire experience of play of that one that you truly are. So this is the beautiful dichotomy, that on the one hand, the shrunken I called this body mind is completely not in control. In fact, what is my head in control? Is my eyebrows in control? Are my eyes in control? What is in control? It doesn't even make sense to say that this hand is in control. No. So the I that is creating the whole animation, not just of this body, but all that there is. That is all there is. So it's एक कहते हैं ना, ईश्वर की इच्छा बिना एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. So in that sense, that Ishwar, that oneness, that you really are, is completely in control, and miracles can happen and miracles can get created by that you really are, which includes a fit mind and a fit body and a healthy body and at 70 years old the muscles of a 30-year-old. All those miracles are possible by that I. All that is because everything is only that. And the whole journey is to move from this limited form and live out of the unlimited form. But we get caught up and we get stuck in this limited form. The more we give this limited form power, the more importance, the more energy, the more significance we give to this limited one, we remain there. And we keep playing the little games that only it is capable of in that limited form. And we miss the real game that's on. The real game that's on is that I really am is creating this entire play called the universe, called life, called Mahesh, called Sanjeev. And then approaching that closer and closer to that and living that. That's the whole journey. That's the whole exciting part. So the sooner we drop this illusory self and try to fix it, try to improve it, try to control it, try to control it, ourselves, surroundings, with this little tool, which is simply a tool in the hands or mind of that, the sooner we let go of that, and sooner the more free we become to be our true self and create real miracles in our life, the true miracles, the miracles of, miracles of miracles. All miracles are possible, whether it's wealth or health or relationships or anything that becomes possible. So when Mahesh becomes Mahesh, right? When Mahesh lives as Mahesh, then all things become very much in your control. Nothing can move, nothing can happen, and all things can be allowed to happen by the Mahesh that you truly are, the Purushottam that you truly are. Great.
Thanks. That was lovely.
Wonderful. Sonal, and I don't know if we answered that, but if you want to be more specific about what you're asking in terms of controlling it, being controlling in a relationship, then maybe there is some more thoughts that we can explore. Sonal. Oh, she dropped out. Okay, but a question on controlling other people is the same thing. Ultimately, there is no other. So the first part of the answer I gave you from the perspective of the limited I, when I say you cannot control anything, and it's an illusion and a game you play. But from the perspective of the true I, when you say that controlling others in a relationship, there is no other. Who is the other? Where is the other? What is the other? There is no other. It is all I. It is all I. So who can control whom? I in another form, I with another name, I with another set of stories and circumstances. Yeah, Sonal, you're back?
Yeah. I'm
You
having
heard-
internet issues, so I logged in from another device.
Okay, so you heard the last part, what I said?
Yeah, you said if I had more questions.
Right. So, right. No. So
Pertaining to control, I have loads of questions.
so particularly about relationships, what I was saying is that
Whatever you said, theoretically, practically, all okay. But if you think it from a rational point of view, each and every relation, whether boss, subordinate, husband, wife, brother, sister, mother, daughter, any relationship, everyone doesn't come to open door and they don't know about oneness. So generally, this question is answerable from what we understand from oneness point of view.
right, but they don't have to come to open door. They don't have to come to open door.
Oneness is hardly understood by people outside.
They need not understand. They need not understand.
Again, if I ask you shortcut method, you will start laughing on me.
No, you need not they need not understand, but there is no other. What is the other? See, this whole game of dividing the world into, you know, uh, boss and employee, or
After
this
doing my
and
Minel's course, I understood that there is no other.
there is no other. Yeah.
But others don't know that there is no other. No?
Others don't know there is no other. But whether they know or not know, so that the other who doesn't know there is no other is just another you, is another you which doesn't know there is no other. That's all.
Reflection.
Yeah, reflection. It's a one reflection of you. The extent that one reflection of you, to the extent that you think that they don't know that there is no other, to that extent you have still not fully embraced that there is no other. See, we continue to live that there are others. We continue to live like that. So the less you live like that, you will find less and less people who don't know that there is no other. Yeah, Nancy?
मुझे क्वेश्चन ये आ रहा था कि we don't have a, like, literally we don't have a control, because we can think, we can differentiate it between good and bad. Like, we're thinking good or we're thinking bad. I mean, I'm still confused.
About?
Yeah.
Nothing good or bad.
Yeah. So this, these are judgments that we put on things, that this is good, this is bad. Everything is what it is. There is no label that comes on anything. Like you see in a shopping mall, every shirt has a label. Like that, the universe doesn't have label on it. This is bad, this is good. There's a label we put on it.
Right.
Yeah. So, and we are the masters of our universe. We can play the game with labels, or we can drop playing the game of labels and just see things the way they are, as they are. So, and when we do that, the experience is of more and more joyousness, the more and more openness, the more and more lovingness, and which is what we are here for. This is what this I has created, this whole story called life, to experience that playfulness, that joyousness. So लेबल हटाते हुए जैसे ही है वैसे ही उनको स्वीकार करना, उसको प्रेम करना, वही वही है, वही वही रास्ता है, वही मंजिल है.
Got
Great. Yeah, I mean, it's like your child, right? You get caught up sometimes. Oh, he's a good boy, he's not a good boy, he's this, he's that, or she's this, she's that. But there is nothing like giving the kid a hug, where there is no good or bad or right or wrong. You just accept them the way they are and you love them. And if you give them a hug with that, then where the question of good, bad, right, wrong, all that just kind of would चूर चूर होके evaporate हो जाता है in that embrace. And that's where we headed. That's where we go. Wonderful. So we will close on this. I was going to share some Europe and Spain and Norway stories, but वो किस्सा फिर कभी next time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. वंडरफुल. चलो एक दो पिक्चर दिखाई देते हैं. One experience which I wanted to share was about this. I think I posted it on the open door also, but we were in We were in Oslo. Yeah, Oslo is the capital of Norway. And we were going around the city and on one of those hop on, hop off buses. And suddenly on all the phones, it started beeping with the bam, bam, bam. Everybody's phone is like a broadcast emergency message. And which said that today there's a big shower and a rainstorm and a thunderstorm and this and that, and don't go anywhere, and this, all kinds of warnings. So this was our only day in Oslo. I said, ये बारिश इन लोग को क्या पता बम्बई की बारिश क्या होती है. ये तो घबरा जाते हैं थोड़ी सी इधर उधर. हम लोग ने बहुत कुछ देखा है. So in the rain, in spite of a lot of protests from Harsha, we grabbed a couple of umbrellas and a little raincoat and simply went out into to see some of the sculptures that are very, very famous. And I wanted to show you some of those sculptures. Here it is. This whole is such a wonderful. Yeah, so you see this one. We're out in the rain in Oslo. Nobody else is there. This is usually packed with people because it's a very popular tourist spot. But nobody is there because only guys like us would dare to go there. But this is a sculpture as you approach it. I'm forgetting the guy's name, but this whole thing was made from a single block of granite. And this particular one, let's see. This has all these figurines, people, moving up into the. And the whole sculpture signifies or symbolizes the quest of humanity to move towards higher and higher, searching for the higher self and moving higher. And if you notice, and maybe in the picture is not clear, but as you go higher and higher, it's younger and younger, and in the end it's children. So it's like the more childlike you are, the more higher you reach. Being childlike, it symbolizes being open, being innocent, being free and spontaneous, the way kids are. And the whole around it is sculptures of a whole feeling of the whole life cycle of being young and then marrying and having kids and getting old and dying and all of that. Very, very profound sculpture. And this is one more sculpture which is like very, very famous in. So you see this kid. Why can't it stay still? Yeah, it's a kid kind of very upset, throwing a tantrum, and it so captures that emotion of, oh, why is it like this, that we all feel sometimes. But the interesting part about this, it's made of bronze, but notice that the entire body is kind of oxidized and green. And here where you can stand below, you can stand and kind of reach the statue, and you find that the hand is completely not oxidized. Any guesses why? The whole statue is like oxidized and green. The hand is polished. Do you see it? Yeah. So
people reach out and touch it.
Bingo! You hit it on the head. People naturally want to just hold this child's hand and somehow give it comfort. They see this kid who is upset, and they just want to hold that child's hand and take it towards okayness, being. So that's why everyone who comes to this statue holds this kid's hand, and that hand is brightly polished, no oxidation, because That's our inner human compassion, which just is brought out when we see a kid in this kind of a upset state. We all want to comfort. So very beautiful, and we would have missed this because this was our only day in Oslo. And if we had said, rain and all, and don't go, then we would have missed so much. But it was so worth it. It was so worth it. So great. I'll share some more maybe next time. In Spain, we were at this place called the Strait of Gibraltar, where the Mediterranean meets the Atlantic Ocean. And it's something to see. I'll share that maybe next time.
Sanjivji, you went on your own or with a travel group, an agency fixed it up for you, or you planned everything on your own?
No, it was just the two of us. And I had a friend who runs an agency in Mumbai called Eco Voyages. And they set up the whole experience. They did all the bookings. And so usually I don't do that. In fact, this is the first time I used a travel agency. I like to be just spontaneous and stay as long or as short as I want where I am.
Right.
But this time I just said, okay, let it be. Let somebody else do it. And it was beautiful. It was very, very worth it. The fjords up in northern Norway, where you go through the river cruise. It's not a river, actually, it's a fjord.
Yeah.
It was just mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing. चलो next retreat कहीं और चलते हैं. Nancy, नॉर्वे चलते हैं, स्वीडन चलते हैं. चले?
चलो.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
In.
Sorry?
Sanjivji, in.
In, na? Okay. So everyone start preparing. कहीं और ही चलते हैं. See, first retreat was in Pune, 200 kilometers away. Second, Rishikesh. Abhi third kahin aur. Sorry?
Sanjay ji, मेरा एक और question था.
Right. हाँ.
सुना?
नहीं सुना नहीं. क्या बोला सोनल?
Switzerland.
Why not? Beautiful. Yes.
Sir, I'm leaving. I have to go.
No, we are going to hang up. Okay, I will just hear what Nancy's question is, see if it's a quick answer or a long answer.
So Sanjeev ji, मेरा question ये है कि thoughts हमारे control में नहीं है, but actions तो हमारे control में है. Actual thoughts are not in our control, but actions तो they are in our control.
Yeah, but actions are a result of thought, right? You think I want to go and let's say go and switch on the TV. So you switch on the TV. So the action is governed by the thought. The thought is what is driving the action, right? But the thought itself is not in your control. तो फिर उसके बाद का action भी, how can we say it's in our control? Because the thoughts that controlling the action is not in our control. It's just happening. और अगर हम डिसाइड करते हैं कि ओके थॉट आया कि ये करो, लेकिन हम नहीं करते हैं, वी थिंक ओ आई डिसाइडेड नॉट टू डू. नो, बट दैट वाज आल्सो अनदर थॉट व्हिच केम, ओके डोंट डू इट. Right, which again came. It's nothing that we have control over. The thought that comes that don't do it, it just comes. The only control we have, if anything, is how we respond, is how we approach and how we take whatever is happening. Whether we respond with okayness and joy, or we respond with fear or anger or upset or all of that. And when we respond with those, then our only job becomes to let those go, because that's not what we really want. Wonderful. Great. Thank you, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. See you next.
Thanks so much.
See you
Good
next.
night.
Good night. See you next Thursday. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Sanjeev ji.
Yeah.